We've got something a little different for you guys today. We're going to do a little product test. Maurten Bicarb System. I picked this up on the feed, not sponsored, nothing like that. Just some new innovative tech that I'm going to try for some big races later this year. So I'm just going to dive into it, show you how it kind of comes together, how it works, then see how it works out on the road. I've got some intervals this afternoon, some over-unders out on the road, and hopefully it'll work. We'll see. So this is a three-part system. Water, this carb mix, and then this is the sodium bicarbonate and these little crystal circles, whatever you want to call them. So we're gonna start by adding in our water up to the fill line here. Gonna add part B. And the package says just to empty and shake for 15 seconds, and then you kind of let it sit. Kind of turned into a little gel substance already. Very similar to the regular Maurten gels. Gonna let that sit 3 or 5 minutes, and then we'll go to the next step.
5 minutes later.
Open it up. See what the consistency is like now. Oh yeah. So now we're gonna add in part C. This is the actual bicarb. And it's really important that you don't chew these. You mix it into the gel, and you're supposed to just kind of spoon it and just send it straight down. This is kind of how the system works. The little tablets help it move from the stomach into the intestines without being broken down, and that's where you're gonna avoid the GI distress that you usually get with regular sodium bicarbonate. Yeah, pretty neat little system from Maurten to kind of get around that. So I gotta eat this whole thing. That's a lot, but yeah, we'll put it down. 2 other important notes from Maurten is you wanna make sure that you've eaten at least an hour before consuming this, and then you wanna take this in an hour and a half to 2 hours before the start of your race or the important set of your intervals. Here we go. It's weird. It's like a bad Jell-O. This is a lot. Some of the little bits are getting kind of stuck and end up crunching on them, and they're like straight salt. So the sodium. I need a straw.
Yeah.
Now that that's down, still gonna be fueling like normal on my workouts, and that is our Never Second. We started working with them a couple months back, so I'll be taking a few gels and then some of their C30 drink mix. Okay. All right, we're back. It's an hour and a half later on the road on the mountain bike. Got a little warm up in, and should be about 2 hours from the time that I took it when the intervals start. And we'll kind of report back in halfway and then again at the end. Beautiful day in Pisgah. About halfway through my warm up now. You'll probably notice the kit I'm wearing today. I found out about a week or 2 ago. I made the roster for the US team for the Snowshoe World Cup. I'll be racing the XC Marathon and the XCO on Sunday. Marathon Wednesday, cross country Sunday. If you're around in Snowshoe, come and check out the races. Come say what's up. We always love talking to you guys. It's always a ton of fun just talking bikes and life and van life. So pretty sick. Well, that's both sets of intervals done. I smashed it. That was actually insane. I did this workout a couple days ago on the trainer, and it went about as you would expect. Inside on the trainer with just a little fan and cooling, but like being outside, the weather was perfect today. A little bit of fatigue from threshold workout on Tuesday, 2 days ago, but like absolutely smashed that. And the like bicarb, it had to have worked. I mean, maybe there's some placebo going on. I fueled as usual, and like that was good, but like my legs never like started to give out on me. It was insane. After the VO2s, I just recovered so well. During the tempo sweet spot sessions, unreal. That was a game changer. I'm super stoked on that. Cool down the hill now, and we'll pick back up at home and go over some numbers. All right, back from the ride now, cleaned up. Little recovery shake in. Gonna pull up the training peaks and see exactly what went down out there. All right, so the total ride was a little over 2 hours. Did a local climb here up to the parkway from Pisgah. Good little road climb. A few little like kind of rolling spots in it, but for the most part, it's steady up. Good grade for putting in some effort, really not having to struggle with any flat or downhill sections. So the workout was about 17 minutes with 2 minutes at VO2 and then 3 minutes at like tempo threshold. That was like the recovery effort. And that was on and off 4 times total. First effort of over-unders, about 20 minutes, I averaged 287 watts, normalized 297, which is actually pretty sick. Like I'm stoked on that. I haven't done like a straight up 20-minute effort this year, and that is my best 20-minute power of the year after being at like altitude for most of the summer. Back down here really shows the gains in that and the fitness I've had on the year. Not my best ever 20-minute power, but I'm pretty happy with that given the circumstances of the workout. I felt good at the end, and I kind of kept it going, so I dragged it out a touch farther and did another like 10 minutes of tempo on the end of this. So instead of just ending with like the 3 minutes of tempo, I extended it out to a total of 10. And for that 27 minutes, held on again and averaged 285. So like kind of kept that same power. It was around 280 or so for the last like 10 minutes. I felt like I could have kept going. I was running out of road. That I feel like, yeah, the fitness has been coming on and been good, but that I really chalked that up to the Maurten bicarb. Just the way that I was feeling on this ride. I was never really getting any fatigue in the legs. It was pure cardio, oxygen uptake burning out. Like the legs were always there. I don't even know what to say. You know, we weren't taking any like lactate testing or any other scientific type stuff like that. It was purely power, heart rate, and based on how I was feeling. And from doing this workout just the previous week, I knew how that went and how I was going to be feeling. Comparing that to today, just like no comparison. None at all. Like I said, out on the ride, the conditions were perfect. Not being on the trainer helped, but it was next level. I was comfortable the whole time. I never really felt like I was failing or fading. And you can see that from the second set of intervals I did, where I jumped right back in for the second set of that like over-unders. The 20 minutes in there also, I did 283 again, so right on the same, normalizing 293. So no real drop off between the two. I don't know what to say other than like this Bicarb system was incredible. I'm going to be using that for big races going forward. I don't think it's worth it in the training. It's not super expensive, but it's not something that I would use every day or once a week. It's about $12 to $15 a serving, I think. I got it from the feed, used a little bit of my feed credit to kind of bring that price down. So you pay like 60 or 65 bucks and you get 4 servings, which again, I think is pretty sweet. We're going after all these like marginal gains, and people are dropping like a couple G's on bikes and wheels and stuff. You know, upgrade your performance. This is investing in yourself, and I think it's worth it. And I see that in the numbers in this workout. So a couple things that I want to mention in the use of the bicarb are a few things that I would change. I would eat my breakfast a little earlier, so I kind of ate, and then an hour later I consumed the bicarb system, and I just felt really full after taking in the bicarb. It was a lot, like the bowl is pretty large, and it's a lot of like gel goo type consistency. It had 40 grams of carbs in it, which is great for like a pre-race kind of like topping up, you know, or getting some readily available glycogen stores. But I just felt really full, and it felt like it kind of sat really high for a while So it was like an awkward full. And then even when I got on the bike, an hour and a half after consuming it, I still had that same feeling where I felt very full and like everything was sitting high in my intestines. It was strange, but after the 30-minute warm-up, drinking a little bit of water, like it kind of like settled down and things kind of went away a little bit, and I never had any issues once I got into the real work of it. Even the kind of like progression in the warm-up and then through the intervals, never had any stomach weirdness, never had any like bathroom, gotta run sensations. I felt totally normal. I fueled normal. I didn't have any difficulty taking that in, no GI distress whatsoever. And for the first time out, I didn't know what to expect. So I can't complain at all. I mean, this system works. I've never used sodium bicarbonate before on its own, so I can't base it off of that. I don't think I want to try it, but just from what I've read and what I've heard, that that seems pretty miserable, and this avoids all that steps with all the benefits, it seems like. So, and maybe even take the bicarb 15 to 30 minutes earlier also to kind of get on that 2 hour before window, which can be tough if you have early morning races. But if you're XC in the afternoon, or you're just an early morning person, or your start time's not till 9 or 10, it's not a big deal. And then post-workout, when I got back, I still didn't have that like super fatigued heavy leg feeling, very similar to I had the week before when I did this workout. The legs were like totally shot then, like they were heavy. I felt like I couldn't do very much, and I was just like, I just wanted to lay on the sofa. But I got back after this ride and I felt light. The legs weren't heavy, weren't sore, and that lasted for another couple hours. I don't know how or why. It was strange, honestly. I felt good. The fatigue didn't really settle in until right before bed, many hours later. I don't know if that was just how long the system lasted and it wore off. It might last that long, and it might be something that, you could use for marathon races, 4 or 5 hours. That's my hope and my goal. In about a week's time, we're going to be in Auburn, Alabama, the Marathon Mountain Bike National Championships. I will be for sure using the Maurten Bicarb System here at this race, hoping for a good performance, some rested legs, and hoping that this stuff works again. And then I'll turn around and use it again just a few days later at the Snowshoe World Cup marathon race on the Wednesday. And then if I can manage it, I will probably use it again for the XCO on Sunday. It's just I feel like I said earlier, it's a game changer, and this stuff is gold. I highly recommend you give it a shot, but please use it in training first. You never know how you're gonna react to stuff like this. I totally believe in the product, that there's nothing bad in it for you. It's by Maurten, they're a proven company, but you don't know how you're gonna react personally. Give it a shot in training first, but I think you'll love it. And if you do, let us know. Leave some comments. Let us know how it went for you, if you had a good or a bad experience. And if you're out there in Snowshoe in a couple weeks' time, come by and say what's up. We'll be around. Should be a good weekend of racing and hanging out. So thanks, guys. We'll see you then.